What do you think would happen if I renovated a room while my wife was away? When Yetta was away, I renovated something. Do you think it would be good?
No.
Moving forward with the Dekker Team. Moving forward together with the Dekker Team.
We've created for you free access to over 367.
Yep. That's a lot. Yeah, 367 inside track episodes on our YouTube Dekker Team channel that provides insight on real estate, insider tips, things that help you make your house home, growing wealth, and living a simply whole life. You get exactly what you need when you want it in the comfort of your home, your office, or even on the go. It's fantastic.
It really is. So, Ken, did you dare? Would you dare renovate a room?
Totally would. I totally would. I've got some secret plans, actually. I think you're away in August.
Okay, this is not good. So, yeah, that's 10 months away. So that's actually good, or 11 months away. We're the beginning of September, so
I got time to plan it.
You got time to plan it. It's kind of neat that you know what I'm doing 11 months from now. Anyway, so renovating when someone's away. Why on earth are we talking about that?
Just because I thought it would be fun on the show to talk about it in front of you.
All right, go for
Because most people do things together.
Right.
But sometimes it's nice to have a secret room. Like when I did my theater room, that was my secret room. You kind of knew what I was doing, but I had a little bit of carte blanche. Is that what they call it? Carte blanche? How do you say that? I don't know. Anyways, French was not my suit. Anyways, I have my say and my way with what I wanted to do.
Right. And so primarily on this show, what you're going to learn is what types of flooring.
Yes.
We're actually primarily focusing on flooring
we're
today.
deep diving on floors, but don't dive because you crack your neck on a floor. Do that in the deep end of the pool.
So we're going to be deep diving into types of floors and colors of floors that are trendy today, which is part of that renovation project. Yeah. And do you dare do the floors when your spouse is away?
Yes.
Or hire someone to do the floors.
Yes.
If you don't not doing them yourself.
Yeah, because there's two reactions you might get.
Yeah.
It's like, honey, wow, you did the floors? Or it might be, honey, wow, you did the floors.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you want to make sure you get the right reaction.
Absolutely. So the types of floors that are trending today.
Yeah, well, first of all, hardwood. Hardwood's the number one choice for people who want to buy property and for people installing floors. Hardwood is a great choice. It's trending towards darker.
Yeah, again.
And grayer tones.
Again.
More gray, cooler.
We were gray a while ago.
Yeah, but it's trending darker and grayer.
Again.
And be careful, though, because gray makes it more difficult to do your decorating. It's easier if you do gray walls and you keep a
neutral palette.
More earthy tone.
Well, more gray earthy, not brown earthy and not moss earthy. There's a few earthies out there.
There's a lot of earthies?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Because if it's dirt, that ain't working so good with the gray.
No.
Brown, no.
No.
So want to be keeping it. And when we say you want to be keeping it, what we're saying is if you're thinking of making a move anytime in the next 5 years, then it's kind of advisable, or not kind of, it's very advisable to choose things that are current today, because even if they're going out of vogue in 5 years, they'll just be going out of vogue and they'll still feel good. When you start to really feel the shift in our decorating tastes, that the flavor in the market, you start to feel it after 5 years, and it really starts to slap you upside the head after about 10.
And that it's a little out of date.
That it's a lot out of date now.
And so be careful, because things like hard surfaces, hardwood, you can change the color. It's still a big process and a job, but you can change it. You get into ceramic tile, you better love that puppy, because ceramic tile is a big job to break it out and replace it.
Right. And so engineered flooring, before we leave hardwood, there's a big trend in new home construction and in renovation projects to go straight to engineered flooring instead of hardwood, because you don't tend to get the same gapping. You don't get the shrinkage quite as much. You don't get quite as much settlement. So, and they're usually even a harder surface than a hardwood floor.
Yeah, an engineered hardwood, just so people understand, it's basically usually a plywood.
Yeah.
So multi-laminate layers going different directions so it can't shrink.
Right.
And then on top is usually a thin layer, maybe a 1/16 of an inch thick of wood.
Real wood.
Okay, real wood. Now, it's not cheaper than full 3/4 inch hardwood. And it's
not less expensive.
It doesn't get installed the same way. So it can be used on a concrete surface.
Mm-hmm.
It can be used in condominiums where you have your sound requirement. You can't transfer sound. So in places like that is where they're using it. And also in new home construction, they don't have as many callbacks because it doesn't have the shrinkage if people keep their humidity wrong in the house, and doesn't swell as much. Doesn't swell, doesn't shrink, but it does gouge. And so if you drop something on it and you take a big gouge out of it, harder to repair, because when you got 3/4 of an inch of wood, you can sand the whole thing down and start over. With the engineered, not so much.
Right. So you really want to think about, how do you live in your house? How long are you going to be in your house before it's time to make a move? And what do you require as you're choosing flooring? Because the wide plank, the engineered that's really wide, you can't go as wide.
No, you can't go that wide in natural
in
wood.
a natural
That's
hardwood because the shrinkage and the expansion is just...
And that's a fantastic segue into ceramic tile. Because ceramic tile now comes looking like wood.
It does.
It's crazy. They make ceramic tile that looks like wood. So you can get it in wider planks. And the size of ceramic is getting bigger.
And
bigger
it
squares,
matters.
longer rectangles, big as in. Harder to install, harder to make smooth.
Yeah.
Harder. You got to do that subfloor really, really well.
A strong, solid, extra thick subfloor. And then you run into the issue that if you're meeting another floor, height-wise, you start to run into something. So these are conversations, unless you are a professional in the industry, you really want to think about calling somebody that does really focuses on flooring.
Yeah. And then the trend in bathrooms and such now is thinner tiles or geometric shapes, hexagons or whatever. It's kind of like, wow, I walked into a 1960 house. That's what's going in bathrooms and that for ceramic
and or the big ones. Again, we're seeing the big floor tile on the walls.
Yes, we're seeing that as well.
We're seeing a lot of that.
And sometimes a strip of something else in between to break it up.
Right.
And but even wood-looking tile on the walls in bathrooms. So that's the next. Then laminate comes. And trust me, folks, if you're going to buy a cheap laminate, save your money, just leave whatever was there before. It's better. It is. You either buy a good laminate or don't buy it at all.
Well, because what ends up happening, what Ken's trying to say really diplomatically, is if you invest the money in laminate, inexpensive laminate, and you install it, you've actually haven't invested anything. You've wasted a whole lot of money, and you've actually devalued the price of your property.
Right. And then the next is carpet.
Yeah.
And I would suggest carpet you stick to bedrooms or in the basement. And then
for warmth.
Yeah. And then we can do a whole nother show on cork. Cork is great flooring. It's so comfortable. It's so warm. And resale people don't really like it that much. Right. In the kitchen, it's pretty good. Anywhere else, leave it alone.
Even though it looks nice and feels nice.
That's right. So thanks for growing alongside the Dekker team as we're passionate about helping families thrive in their life, both at home and in business.
Moving forward with the Dekker team. Moving forward together with the Dekker team.